Welcome to Built from Love, the podcast for moms birthing businesses and babies. I'm Erin Pratt, and thank you so much for being here. Hello, and welcome back to the Built from Love podcast. My name is Erin Pratt, and I will be sharing about a topic that is really important to consider when you are starting out with building your business. So this is a perfect episode for those who are in the beginning stages of figuring out what exactly it is they want to do as an entrepreneur. It's also a perfect episode for those who may be considering a pivot from what they've been doing previously. So I hope you enjoy learning about some of my top tips when starting out as an entrepreneur today. And if you've been enjoying this podcast, it would mean the world to me if you could take a moment to rate the show and share it with a friend who might enjoy it. It just would mean everything. So last year, I started a coaching program and I ran 2 rounds of this with 8 women each, and it was such an incredible experience. I intend to bring that back, but I'm putting a pause on it as I'm preparing for baby number 3. And I know that I am most needed with my little ones right now, but I can't wait to give back to new and aspiring entrepreneurs through my coaching program. But in the meantime, I want to start sharing parts of the framework that I've created with you to help you get started in the early stages of building a business. And it's also applicable to those who are in the process of pivoting what they've been doing previously for their business. One of the biggest challenges I see with entrepreneurs, and absolutely myself included, is losing focus. We have so many ideas. We are multi-passionate humans on this planet. I shared this in my coaching program, but I laugh when, people describe themselves as a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I don't know a single person who is only interested in one thing. We are all multi-passionate. We're complex creatures with many interests and evolving experiences on this planet that draw our attention. And so naturally, for those of us who are creative and want to spread our message with the world or share the skills that we're building, we tend to drift our focus from one thing to the next, or we're constantly bombarded by the latest thing on social media. We have to hop on Substack. We have to start a membership. We have to create these digital products. We have to offer the service. And with AI ever expanding, the opportunities are limitless. And it can be really hard to focus on one single thing or one single solution for one type of person. But when we do focus all of our attention and our energy in business on one really big thing, we tend to experience success at a faster rate. So naturally, if you're putting all of your energy and attention into a podcast or growing your email list or selling one product, you're going to most likely experience bigger growth in that area. So something I like to share with entrepreneurs in the early phase of business is to keep it as simple as possible and put as much of your focus and energy into the most important thing you can offer. And we're going to talk about, when you are building a business, how to find that unique selling proposition for yourself, the unique gift that you can share with the world, and most importantly, who it is you are meant to share that with. So as you're coming up with your business idea or the pivot for your business, I want to share this one line with you that I hope you can kind of put into your brain and let that sink in. Your solution lies in your strengths. When you are wondering, what should I do? Who should I serve? What kind of product can I create? What kind of service can I offer? When you're starting out, especially in a season of early motherhood, I encourage you not to try to learn new things. I encourage you to just simply look at, what do you do really well right now? And who is it that you can serve with that experience or that skill that you've already built? Oftentimes that might not be the thing you are most passionate about. Sometimes it is, and that's wonderful. For me, it was website design. That was my ticket out of corporate. I wasn't looking at website design as my calling on this planet. I really felt like I was more connected to providing spiritual services with my moon circles and my meditations and helping pregnant moms with building their prenatal yoga practice and all of that. But it just wasn't paying the bills. And I had a really tangible skill set in website design. It was a solution people needed. And people are frustrated by websites, and I could build websites for them. And then I realized who it is I could build them for. It was creative female entrepreneurs. I spoke their language, I got their vibe, and my business took off within the first few weeks of starting it. So, then I was able to evolve and transform that business into what it sort of looks like today, and it will continue to evolve with me. But when you are first starting out and you're thinking about what is my ticket out of corporate, or if you're not working and you want to build a business in these early phases of motherhood, what can you do right now? What can you get started with today? So, your solution lies in your strengths. And I have a framework for helping you identify what those strengths are because we often don't see our value or our worth because we are blind to it. We know what we know and we don't think anything more of it. We think certainly other people must do this as well. This must come naturally to others as well. But there is something you've done in this life that is remarkable. Everyone has done something remarkable. Everybody has overcome some problem that they have been able to face and have come out the other side from, experienced achievement or success. You've also solved problems for other people, and this doesn't have to be within the realm of your career or corporate work thus far. It could be something that your friends often come to you for. There's a woman that I heard about who had created this really unique way of potty training her young toddler and experienced incredible success with this method. She ended up creating an online course to share this method with other moms and is now making multiple six figures selling a simple potty training course online with the method that she used on her children. So, thinking about just the simplest things that you've been able to accomplish in your life, there are other people waiting to hear from you and waiting to hear that message from you. It's not something that hasn't been shared before sometimes, but we often need to hear messages from a person in our circle or within our realm. There are billions of people on this planet. So don't get discouraged if you think about something you've done or accomplished that others have done and accomplished too. I promise you, they haven't done it or accomplished it in your unique way, and they might be waiting to hear it from you. So, just something to consider as our world gets more and more congested with voices that are sharing their messages. I look at that as a really good thing because you're going to find your micro community that needs to hear from you in your unique way. There's truly nobody out there like you. So stay confident in your power and in your message. In order to identify what your strengths are and basically discover your niche. So, what is it you can do and who is it for? And this statement of I help who to what? Who are you helping to transform in some way? The first thing I want you to look at is a framework that I've created called the 3 Ps. And this is going to be the intersection of your proficiencies, people, and passions. So if you think about drawing, 3 circles overlapping in sort of a Venn diagram shape, you're going to write your proficiencies, title that one circle, your people in another circle, and your passions in another. You only need 2 of these circles to overlap to identify a skill that you can actually monetize. But if you're able to overlap all 3 of them, even better. So let's start off with P number 1, proficiencies. In this list or circle, I want you to list out everything you're proficient at. And this can include the silliest of things. So get really detailed here with everything you're good at. This can include cooking and gardening and making your bed or whatever it might be. What are you really good at? What do people compliment you on? What comes naturally to you? It doesn't have to fall in line with what you've done in the past. This could be some aspect of motherhood that you feel really confident in your abilities. This could be some unique way you've created a pasta sauce or the way that you garden in a chaos gardening kind of way and experience success with cut flowers. So just list out all of the things that you're good at and fill that list up as much as you can. In the next circle or list, you'll write out the word people. And this is going to be a list of different types of people that you've been able to help so far in life. It can also include the types of people that you would ideally love to help if given the chance. The first person that might make the top of this list could be a past version of you. A coach that I had, Rory Vaden in the Brand Builders group, said that we are most well positioned to help the person we once were. So, thinking about a past version of you and all that you've learned since, maybe it's a version of you from 10 years ago, all the lessons you've learned, you're best positioned to help that person, that past version of you, to get to where you are today, to experience some transformation you've already accomplished. And so that might be person number one. It could be just thinking about different friends that have come to you for advice or help. It could be a type of person like a new mom or a creative entrepreneur, a photographer, whatever type of person it is that you've either have helped already or would love to help if you're thinking about like the dream client that you would love to have under your wing. So just listing out all the types of people you've either helped or would love to help in the future. And then in the third circle, this is where your passion lies. So, what are you passionate about? What do you stay up late at night researching or enjoy consuming information about? Or you could go on a stage today and talk about this particular topic for an hour with no preparation. And again, you can get kind of silly here. There's nothing serious about this brainstorming session. Just be really broad in your passions. What strikes your interest? What do you get lost in? What do you read about? What do you watch documentaries on? And fill out that circle and then see where you can find any sort of opportunity to pursue, whether it's a proficiency that falls in line with your passion and a type of person, but you're going to fill in the middle, identifying or circling the types of things that you can actually pursue to monetize. And I will talk about monetization strategies in a future episode. I'm going to be walking you through my framework through this podcast. But this brainstorming will allow you to start getting closer to answering that question: I help who to what? What transformation can you provide through the skills you already have with the people you've already potentially helped, even if that's just a past version of yourself? The next activity I encourage you to do is answering these few prompts. And these are really hard questions. So, one of the most challenging parts of starting a business is actually just starting with a really clear message and mission. But the more clarity you can get around who exactly you're helping and what exactly you're helping them with, the more successful your business is going to be from the get go. The first question I want you to answer is, what problem do you solve? What problem can you solve for somebody? The next question I want you to answer is, who do you solve that problem for? And you can get as specific as writing in the name of someone you know. Like, who can you help? And you're going to eventually come up with a phrase for this person. Like, for example, my niche right now, my avatar, is a mom in the childhood years of 0 to 6 who wants to start a business, right? So that's the kind of person that I want to help them overcome the problem of getting the courage to start and knowing what to do first. So, what kind of person is it you want to help? Who do you solve that problem for? And then the next question you're going to eventually answer at some point is, how do you solve that problem in one sentence? This is something you can look at as your elevator pitch. How do you expect that you're going to solve this problem? So, I, as a website designer, was solving the problem of visibility for female creative entrepreneurs, right? Like getting their message out to the world through a beautiful and high converting website. So, thinking about the problem you're solving, who you're solving it for. Now, how are you solving that problem? What is the vehicle to solving that problem? Is it that you're offering a done for you service? Are you launching a digital product or a physical product? Like, what is the vehicle to actually solving that problem? And in a future episode, we're going to talk about monetization strategies. And that's where you'll get even more clarity on this question of how are you making money solving this problem? Again, are you doing kind of a high touch point service where you are solving this problem for that person? Or is it more of a guide where you're creating these resources where people can sort of solve that problem for themselves through your resources? Are you looking to be a speaker or write a book or start a podcast? Or are you selling physical products or creating a physical space or creating a community? There's so many ways to monetize the skills that you have and the problems you can solve for a specific kind of person. So today's exercise is really all about getting that brainstorming going so that you can get real clear on your mission, the problem you solve, and who you are trying to reach with your message. Now, the next thing you're going to start thinking about is your target audience. So I keep talking about this one singular sort of who, and it often is really helpful to boil down your avatar to an actual person. I encourage you to even write out like a summary of this person. What are their likes and dislikes? What are their interests? What do they do in their free time? How much money are they already making? How many kids do they have? Where do they like to eat? Where do they live? What is their age? So, kind of creating that biography for your ideal client or avatar, the dream person that you are speaking to and directing all your messaging to. This helps you write your emails and social media posts thinking about this dream person. Inevitably, you're going to reach people outside of this avatar bio. My podcast is a great example. I hear from friends and acquaintances all the time who have no kids and some who even have no interest in having children who listen to my podcast regularly because they resonate with the messages I'm sharing. Even though this podcast is designed for moms in the early childhood years who are balancing being a present mom and pursuing their passions and earning money along the way in these precious, magical early years of childhood. My friends and acquaintances who are building businesses but don't want work to consume themselves and to give them free time to spend with their dogs or go to the beach or travel resonate with these messages. So you will inevitably reach more people than your target audience. So I want you to list out 3 types of audiences that would resonate with the message you're looking to share with the world. The first one would be your primary audience. These are the people that you're really creating this business for. That's your primary audience. The secondary audience would be someone who falls just outside of that. So they meet most of the benchmarks for who you're talking to, but might not meet every single one. So, for example, for me, that might look like somebody who has teenage children. They most likely will resonate with things that I'm saying, but I'm not exactly speaking to the mom with teenage children because I don't have teenage children, so I don't have that experience yet. But that's not to say that that mom wouldn't resonate deeply with my messaging and still get value from the content that I'm creating or the services or products that I'm offering. And then you're going to have a tertiary audience. So these are the people who fall pretty far outside of the scope of who you're trying to reach, but still resonate with at least parts of your messaging. And for me, that example would be women who are not having children, don't want to have children, but might still be in the entrepreneurial space and they resonate with some parts of my messaging. So those are going to be your 3 audiences. And that is a really helpful way for you to start understanding who it is you could help. And when I talk about, in the past with my coaching programs, like really deeply niching down, the more niche, the better. So, for example, like as a website designer, it sounds really scary to put all your messaging out there about only working with, for example, female photographers in the East Coast. But the more specific you are with who you're helping, the more success you will have. But that doesn't mean those are the only people you're going to serve. Inevitably, there will be referrals sent your way. I've worked with men on their websites. I've worked in the roofing industry on a website. So it doesn't mean you're going to be pigeonholed forever in this space. It's just going to really help you get clarity on your messaging and really helping people look at you as an expert and that they feel really confident that you can help them. Whatever stage of business building you're in, whether you're just in the brainstorming phase of you'd love to be an entrepreneur, but you have no idea what you'd want to do, or you've been an entrepreneur for years, but you're about to have your first baby and you're following along with just kind of looking at how to re-envision or reinvent your business, I really want to leave you with this message. Oftentimes, the biggest support that we can find when we pursue the entrepreneurial world, especially as moms, is not going to come from our closest friends necessarily, not even our family members. A really important thing for you to consider is building a community of other entrepreneurs around you so you can continuously be inspired and supported by people who understand this path. And it's nothing against our friends or family who've always been there for us, but entrepreneurship is a very unique, beautiful, and challenging journey. And it's really important to be surrounded by people who understand that and can hold your hand and walk you through that journey. So that can be other fellow entrepreneurs who are just starting up, or also people who are farther along the path than you. Mentorship is incredibly important when building a business, and looking at people who specifically have built something that you want to build. And it doesn't even have to be their same industry, but the vibe that they're holding in their business. So there's some people who really want their business to be their identity, right? They go all in on it. But most likely, if you're listening to this podcast, there's going to be a blend of building a business while balancing peace and slow days and time with your children. So I encourage you to look to the influencers in your city, in your space, and other business owners, whether they're local or not local to you, and follow them and gain everything you can from them, whether they have a podcast or free resources. Just start to absorb that information to see how they did what they did, and you'll begin to find a path for yourself to build something similar but totally and uniquely you. I am so proud of anybody who is pursuing their dreams. It is a beautiful and challenging thing to pursue entrepreneurship. It is the fastest and best way to challenge yourself to grow in ways you never imagined, to face your self-doubt and your worthiness and your fears of putting yourself out there, of rejection, of putting a price tag on your services. It is all really deep, deep work. But I know if you're considering this path, it is meant to find you, and I encourage you to keep going. I hope this episode helps you gain some clarity and identify really what your niche is. Who are you helping to do what? And finally, we are in a transformational economy. So we kind of moved out of this experiential economy where people really wanted to have experiences. And we're now looking for transformation. Buyers want a transformation. They want to become the best version of themselves. They want to purchase your service or your product not only as a solution or not only to have an experience, but to really transform who they are and to be the best version of who they can be. So, considering that in your messaging too, how are you helping your ideal client transform through the skills that you currently have? And I know that you have so many beautiful skills. You just have to take the time to identify the one that can provide the best path to entrepreneurship for you in this phase of life, with room to evolve and grow from there as you will continue to evolve and grow. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And as always, feel free to tag me at Erin Nicole Pratt if you have any breakthroughs or have any feedback for me. And until next time, keep building everything you're building from a place of love.